What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to WillND. And today we have a crazy recap of college football, and there's also some big matchups coming up this week, too. Jeffrey, there were some crazy games this past week, man.
Yeah, people said it was going to be a slow week of college football. It wasn't going to be that many great games or whatever because there wasn't a lot of headline and matchups. But still, we had some good games. We had some quality matchups, and even games that we weren't expecting to be good ended up being good. A lot of crazy storylines. So it's going to be a lot of fun to get into it. I can't wait.
And man, starting off with Arizona State and Texas State, I thought Texas State had it, Jeffrey. I thought once they went up 21-7. But shout out to Kenny Dillingham, man. He's doing a good job with Arizona State, and they might make some noise in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, this is a game that most fans that only watch the big games, they would never tune into this one because most people probably were watching Thursday night football. But look at this game. It was a quality matchup. It was a great game. And I agree with you. I thought when they were up 21-7, I'm like, me and Will were wrong. We should not have picked the Sun Devils. But they came through for us. I mean, I almost picked Texas State because Jordan McLeod, former James Madison QB, like he's really good. He's a solid player. Look at the stat line. And the game was very good. 4 touchdowns. Did have 1 pick. But, yes, Kenny Dillingham. They're an underratedly surprising team so far. Because as bad as they were last year, and obviously, I do think that their record is going to go down as the season goes along. Like, they're not going to keep this up forever. But it is impressive for them to start out 3-0 with how bad Arizona State's been the past few years.
Yeah, like I didn't even think they would make a bowl game, but it looks
They
like
could.
Yeah, it looks like they should this year. It'll be interesting to see how the Sun Belt goes. It's a fun conference for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's why they call it the Fun Belt, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always got good games, and there's a lot of quality teams. I mean, ironically, for a conference that hasn't really existed for a long period of time, there's a lot of solid games and a lot of solid teams in the league that make it fun.
Mm-hmm. South Alabama taking care of Northwestern State.
Northwestern State must be bad. They must be really bad. Because, I mean, obviously, South Alabama doesn't have Kane Womack anymore. He's at Alabama now. So, I mean, that sucks for them. But they finally, looks like they took out their fury on Northwestern State getting their first win of the year.
Arizona, man, they could not hang with Kansas State. I thought
this
it was
ended up
be
not being as good of a game as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Man, no Fafita, man. I like Fafita McMillan, man. They're fun, but man, it was ugly for them. But shout out to Avery Johnson, man. Dual threat quarterback, got it done for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think that if Kansas State is going to, be an elite team, I mean, not really an elite team, but a threat, right, to win the Big 12, make the playoff, he's got to be more dynamic passing the ball. Like, he's got to put up more yards passing because he's kind of in that Riley Leonard boat to me, where in a lot of games, bigger games, he can run the ball. He can move the ball, but there's not a lot of downfield passing. To be truly a great team in college football, to an elite team, you have to be able to pass the ball downfield. That's what he needs to develop as time goes on, but he's still a young quarterback, and he is talented. He's very good. But, yes, he did not throw for a lot of yards in this game. I think he only threw for like 160. That's not good enough in a lot of big games. But for this game, it is because Arizona is worse. They are worse, and that's why we both picked K-State because you lose Jed Fish. You lose a lot of quality players. Yes, you keep Fafita and McMillan, but it just kind of feels like Arizona kind of is having the Colorado problem right now where they got a couple of really talented players, and that's about it. They don't have anything else. They lost all that extra sauce, that X factor that they had before that they don't have now. And I think it's going to hurt them in the long run this season. I do not think Arizona is going to be a threat to win the Big 12. That's my opinion. They don't look like it. They do not look like the team this year at all.
I do think their culture is better than Colorado, so I'll give them that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're better than Colorado.
Yeah.
But they're
even
probably
fair play to the Buffs. We'll get to them later. Fair play to the Buffs, but
for sure. But it did stink that this game wasn't close because, I mean, a lot of people were looking forward to this one. But, yeah, it just was not an entertaining game for the most part, outside of watching Avery Johnson cook.
Yeah, Kansas State might – I mean, the Big 12, there's not really an elite team. So would you say that Kansas State's the favorite to win it?
It's tough because of the fact that I really would give Utah a chance
Mm-hmm.
if Cam Rising could just stay healthy. But he's not obviously going to be able to do that. It doesn't look like he's going to. Some people are saying he might not return this year. I don't know. It's just another deal with Cam Rising. Is he ever coming back? So since that's going on, I would probably say Kansas State for now is probably the best team in the Big 12. If Cam Rising was healthy, I would definitely throw Utah right there, but probably Kansas State.
Now, Texas State couldn't get it done, but UNLV did get it done. Barry Odom, man. Kansas just couldn't stop the run. And Jalen Daniels, I mean, Jalen Daniels just does not look like the same guy this year for whatever reason.
You starting to believe me now, Will. I've been calling it last couple weeks. There's something going on with Jalen Daniels. He does not look good anymore. And the offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes, it's a vanilla offense, man. They're not utilizing Jalen Daniels in the ways that he was utilized the last couple of years where he had a lot of success. They might not be that good this year either. And it sucks because they have a lot of the same players they had last year, especially on offense. It's the same guys. They still have Devin Neal. They still have Lawrence Arnold. They got all the same guys, basically. But they just don't look like the same offense. They should have won this game. All Kansas had to do was fall on that fumble. Did you see that play? If they had fallen on that fumble, man, UNLV, well, I don't even know. They should not have won this game. But congrats to Barry Odom and the Rebels for being 3-0 for the first time since 1976. But Kansas should have won this game. They gave it away.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the best we've seen UNLV since Randall Cunningham. That's way before our time.
Oh, yeah. And the quarterback for UNLV looking like Avery Johnson out there with the rushing yards. He ran all over him. Kansas could not stop him. I mean, he's not – I'm not saying he's not dynamic. He can move. But there were a couple of plays where I'm like, why can't Kansas get him down? They should have been able to get him down. It was bad tackling.
Mm-hmm. Why did they punt, man? Why did they punt?
Dude, I was literally watching this game. I wouldn't say I was shouting at the TV because I don't normally do that, especially, if it's not like one of my favorite teams or anything. But I was literally watching the game, and I'm like, go for it. Like, you got a chance, right? You got a chance to knock off the Georgia Bulldogs, and you're going to punt. You're going to punt, and like, okay, they technically got another chance, but it was too late at that point, man. You can't punt. Kentucky, kudos for bouncing back off a garbage performance against South Carolina and playing a heck of a game. And granted, Georgia's done this before against Missouri. They've done it before against Kent State and Auburn the past few years. So this doesn't surprise me totally. It does not completely surprise me that they did this, but at the same time, Kentucky had a great shot to win, and they threw it away. And it sucks to see.
Like, George, do you think, does this creep out in your mind with Georgia, or do you think this is just an Alabama, South Florida performance? Or do you actually think that Georgia might not be as good as everyone says they are?
I did say the other night on the Voice of College Football that I believe that Georgia's still a great to an elite team. They have the talent, they have the pieces, but I do think that their offense is worse this year than it's been the past couple years. I don't think it's as dynamic. I don't think they have as many dynamic players on offense, and that might come back to bite them in a couple games this year. I do think they're a worse team this year, but I do think that they're going to bounce back and play better throughout the season. Like, they're not going to fall off a cliff and like lose 3 or 4 games. But
their schedule's hard. They could lose 3.
That's true, and I did say that as well. Their schedule's harder, so it is possible. But I just feel like Georgia's still great, but I do think they're worse. So it is possible that and the harder schedule, increased difficulty, they could drop some games. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Kirby Smart, even though he's got a lot of guys on his team that can't seem to stay out of trouble off the field, I mean, he gets them to play well on the field, and he likes to use games like this to motivate them. So we'll see if Georgia comes back better than ever against Alabama. But I do think they can lose some games. And we got in the comment section, Jackson
We have
saying,
a
what's
big
the only
we have
top
a big
sport
Crimson
nation?
Tide contingent today. Big Crimson Tide contingent.
Appreciate you for stopping by, Jackson. We also got RC as well. Thanks for stopping by. And Jeff, Alabama faithful here, definitely. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Bama, Georgia. That's going to be a blast. Cannot wait to talk about that game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, try not to be biased, but hopefully Bama can win. Hopefully they can win. But it's going to be fun. And he also says a roll tide, same as Jackson. And we got Sports Talk with Austin. Appreciate you as well, saying Oklahoma State maybe
They're up there too.
In the Big 12. I agree. They're there, but they usually fall apart, though, man. They usually fall apart. But we'll see.
Do you remember that one year they had Justin Blackman, who was a big bust in the NFL? But they had it. They had their path to the national championship, and then they blew it in Ames, Iowa, to Iowa State. Man, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, Mike Gundy, he's always had his team, like, every couple years or so have a great season, but they always blow it in a game. In a big game, they choke. And that's what prevents them from getting it done. So, I mean, and until I see proof with Oklahoma State, I'm not ready with them. But I would go with Kansas State for now, but we'll see. That's going to be an interesting conference to see what happens.
Texas, shout out to Texas, the new #1 team.
Yeah, and they did it with Arch Manning as well because Quinn Ewers getting injured. Do you know the extent of his injury? Because I haven't checked that.
I can do a quick little Google search.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's like out for a couple weeks or if he's going to be out for the extended period of time. Because I know Texas, that's a big debate going on. Is Manning better than Ewers?
They said he's week to week, so he won't play this week, but he'll probably play the week after.
Well, it's going to be interesting because what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do you think Ewers gets healthy, he's immediately back in the lineup, or do you think there is controversy?
I feel like you have to play Ewers, man. I mean, this is Ewers' last year. Everyone thinks he's going to be the #1 or 2 pick, about him or Carson Beck, so I feel like you have to ride the guy that got you to the playoffs last year.
I agree. I mean, and the thing is he hasn't really done anything wrong, right? That's just making me laugh. Like, he went on the road this year and beats Michigan by 3 touchdowns in the Big House. I know Michigan might not be looking all that good, but still, that's mighty impressive, right? And then the season they had last year, beating Bama on the road, even though it was early in the year, Bama didn't play all that well in that game. Still impressive. Making the playoff in a 4-team playoff. It's his last year. You have to go with him. If he's healthy, and as long as like he's not like laboring out there, and he's 100% healthy, and he's playing good enough, like he's getting the job done, you have to go with him. I don't think there should be a debate, but you know how it is. Controversy is always going to get stirred up. That's just the way it goes. That's the name of the game. And Arch Manning, he did good in the game, but it is UTSA, and UTSA is not the same UTSA that we've been seeing the last few years. They're not the same team right now. Like they've been really good like for the last 3 or 4 years. Been ranked a few times, but they're not good. So it was an impressive win for Texas, and Arch Manning looked great. But I would go with Ewers as long as he's healthy. I agree.
Take a look. Bama, I mean, Wisconsin did not look good, but you have to give it to Alabama for getting it done. Milroe had a good game, running, passing. Unfortunately, Tyler Van Dyke got injured. I don't think it made a difference in this game, but it might make a difference in Wisconsin's later games if their passing isn't good. So hopefully he's. I don't know if he's out for the season or how long he's out.
I think he is. I think I saw he had an ACL. He's done.
Yeah, so Wisconsin might not even make a bowl game now.
Yeah, I hate that for Wisconsin because don't they have the longest streak of consecutive winning seasons in college football? I think they do. They've had like 20-something winning seasons in a row. So, yeah, that could be in jeopardy, and it's not going to make Luke Fickell look good. I know some people will defend him and say, well, if Van Dyke didn't get hurt, they would have had a better year. So maybe he'll get the benefit of the doubt. But, yeah, that's going to be an issue for Luke Fickell. Alabama, I was impressed with this game. After the struggle against South Florida, they bounced back and pretty much dominated. I do agree with you that I don't think Van Dyke, him not getting hurt, if he had stayed healthy all game and played like this game wouldn't have been close, but I do think Wisconsin would have made it slightly more interesting. Slightly. Because Braden Locke just couldn't throw. He just could not throw. But see, at the end of the day, the reason why Alabama would have won this game regardless is because they couldn't stop Milroe. This was the first game this season where they actually utilized Milroe's ability to run the football. And that's what I was like, why are you not doing this? I know you want to keep him healthy. I know you don't want him getting hurt, but he can run, right? To me, when he runs and gets out in space, he becomes a better quarterback than when he's just sitting back in the pocket throwing it. He does better like this. This was his best game of the year so far with his performance. He had 5 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 3 through the air. Alabama needs to continue this formula with Milroe. And if he can stay healthy, you don't want him getting hurt. He doesn't need to take unnecessary hits, but he does need to utilize his legs. If he can do that all season like last year, Alabama's still a great football team. And they're still probably a playoff team for sure. This was an impressive win, but they got to continue to do this with Milroe. He can't just be a pocket passer.
If Milroe's like medium passing gets a little better, I think Bama could win the title. But there is limitations with Milroe, but the athleticism's there that you just have to. I mean, you have to stick with him
because he has the deep ball. He can throw the ball downfield.
It's just the
like Ron Williams. He's his favorite target right now. Just sling it to Ron Williams, the youngest receiver, or I think actually the youngest player in college football. I mean, he's only 17 years old, and that guy is a speedster. And like Milroe can throw the ball downfield. I mean, he's got more touch than Anthony Richardson does on deep balls. Like he can throw. He actually has the ability to have a great pass. But like you said, it's the intermediate stuff. It's the over the middle, the 10, 15-yard passes that he can't do on a consistent basis. If he could do that and be a little bit better of a pocket presence, because he has to basically scramble every time and do anything, he could be really good, and he might be a pro. He might be a pro quarterback because he is very talented at running and deep balls. But it's the shorter stuff that just, for whatever reason, guys like Milroe, Richardson, it's the shorter passes, man, that they can't do. I remember Richardson at Florida. He had like wide open guys open like 10 yards down the field, and he throw it like 10 feet over their head. It's like, how? That should be an easier throw than throwing it 60 yards down the field, but they make those throws easier. I don't get it. I think Milroe's better than Richardson. I really do, actually, on passing, but he does need to get better.
I agree. Ole Miss beat up on Wake Forest.
Yeah, no CW curse, man. No CW curse. A lot of people thought maybe Wake Forest will have a shot. I picked Ole Miss big, and they dominated. This game wasn't even close. Like, Dart had a big game outside of a pick. He played great. They ran the ball well. No issues for Ole Miss. They're looking good.
Boston College, are they for real? Can Boston College win the ACC? They hung with one of the best SEC teams. So shout out to Bill O'Brien, but yeah.
I think the funniest thing about this game is the fact that because of the result, nobody really knows what to take away from this game. Like, is Boston College legit? Or is Missouri not that good?
I don't think Missouri's the 6th best team in the country, man.
No, that's the thing. I'm with you. I don't think they are. I think they're more like top 20, maybe. They're not the 6th best team. And Boston College is good. They're much better than last year. If Jason was here, again, reiterate, Boston College is a better team this year. Bill O'Brien doing good work. Castellanos is talented. But I do think if Missouri was a better team and actually the 6th best team in college football, they would have beaten Boston College by a lot more than this.
Luther Burden's still really good. Brady Cook's still solid. I just don't know if the defense especially is up to snuff. But they do have an easy schedule, so they'll probably be in the playoffs. But
yeah, if their schedule is manageable, because that's actually what's most important, really, when you're talking about teams, man. It's not really how good they are, it's if the schedule is good. Because you could be a great team, but if your schedule's brutal, you're going to drop games. So if their schedule's on the easier side, and I do remember when I was predicting the SEC team, I did a video for that. I remember Missouri's schedule was on the easier side. It's not that bad.
There it is.
I mean, at Alabama's hard. At A&M's not easy, but I mean, Oklahoma at home, I mean, it's not bad. They could go 10-2. They could, possibly, if they play their cards right. And that would get them in.
God bless Kent State. Sorry, Mark's alma mater got killed.
Man, Mark's alma mater needs to quit football, man. They're bad, dude. They're really bad. I mean, they've had some okay years in the past, but this isn't one of them. It's always funny that it seems like when these teams are at their worst is when they have the toughest games out of conference, man. Like that's just 71-0. I mean, arguably Tennessee probably could have won by 100 if they wanted to. I mean, look at the box score. They already had 60 plus in the first half, right? Like they could have won by over 100. They took their foot off the gas. So it was ugly. Complete domination.
Mm-hmm. Oregon State, man.
First game that Oregon actually looked like a top 10 team. Finally.
Even the first half was iffy, but the second half was their
The second half is when they looked really good. They left it all out there on the field. Oregon State didn't even score in the second half. Like you said, first half, it was another game where it's like, I don't know, Oregon. But they finally got it together. I still don't know how good they are. I really don't. Like, Oregon State can be really bad, too. But it is impressive they won this big. But there's just something missing, though. They need another gear in their offense, man. They need another gear. I still think their defense needs to be better. If they're going to be a true threat in the Big Ten, they have to improve on both sides of the ball still. But at least they finally got a convincing win, unlike their first 2 weeks. I do hate it for Oregon State, though. I really do.
Miami beats up on Ball State.
Again, this can't overlook this. Miami doing their job. Like, they're not playing around this time, right? Like, they're not barely winning these games. Like the Middle Tennessee State stuff where they're losing. Like, Miami taking care of business. They might be good this year. I'm not ready to say it 110%. Like, Miami's legit. But that's impressive. Miami finally doing what they need to be doing in games like this.
Cam Rising got hurt, but I mean, like, Utah should not be competitive with Utah State. Like, that's just a red flag for Utah that they aren't the same team without Cam Rising.
That's the problem. I mean, like, if you had a healthy Cam Rising, and plus the defense, like, they go up 21. To Utah State. And I know it was on the road, and it is a rivalry game, but not impressive. I ain't gonna lie, not that impressive for Utah. And if Cam Rising is out for most of the season or all of the season again, then they're gonna have limitations. They're not gonna be probably the best team in the Big 12, and it sucks because Whittingham I think is a really great coach, but yeah, they're not the same team right now, especially without Rising.
Oklahoma State taking care of business at Tulsa.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that they should win by a lot, and they did. So, good job for Oklahoma State. I mean, they are weird, man. That South Alabama game, like, they're a weird team. They sometimes blow games. I need to see more from the Cowboys. If they can keep this up and continue to play well in the Big 12, they might be a threat to K-State. Because Bowman's putting up stats. I mean, they look dynamic. Oklahoma State's had some good teams under Gundy, but it's about consistency. Can they do it every single game, all throughout the year? And when it comes to, like, toward the end of the season, can they not choke? Can they win that final game or two that gets them over the hump to win the Big 12, make the playoff? That's what we need to see from Oklahoma State. But they look good so far.
Still not that impressive from Oklahoma. I mean, Jackson Arnold with the pick, but they got it done over Tulane. This wasn't really that competitive. But
yeah, Tulane kind of made it interesting toward the end. I mean, like you see, like most of their points were toward the end of the game. And, I mean, Kansas State beat them by 7 as well. So you can say, well, Oklahoma won by more, but it was at Tulane in that game for K-State. This game was at Oklahoma. The problem for Oklahoma is that they're just not that dynamic on offense, right? Like their offense is just kind of average. Jackson Arnold didn't throw for that much. I mean, like I said, I know why they let Dylan Gabriel go. I still believe that. Like they wanted Arnold to stay. He probably wouldn't have if Gabriel stayed. So they went with Arnold. But he just hasn't impressed me like Avery Johnson and some of these other young guys have. He's not horrible or anything, but he's not great. And the thing is I don't think Oklahoma's defense is still like, where Brent Venables would want it to be. So the thing is that they need a better defense. Like, they need a legit defense, especially to compete in the SEC. You need a legit defense. And then their offense is going to have to be better than this. They just, to me, aren't dynamic enough on offense. Their defense isn't good enough. So they're going to drop some games this year. There's no way that they're going to go close to unscathed in the SEC. They could drop 4 games maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they can do better than that, but they just look okay. They're getting by right now, which I guess is good enough, but it's going to be a rude awakening eventually. And actually, it's starting this week, they play Tennessee. So that's going to be interesting. So we'll get to that one. Man, South Carolina, man, what were you doing? You blew this
What was
game.
that guy doing? Like, the penalty on the pick six. The South Carolina did everything they could to lose the game. They had it, and they did everything they could to lose it.
I will say, though, did the South Carolina guy, I can't ever remember his name, but that dude that was mad in the car in that video, did he react to this one?
Yes.
What was his thoughts? Oh, you haven't seen it? Man, I bet he mad, man. I bet he is really mad because think about it. Like, he went from thinking South Carolina was just garbage against Old Dominion. And then great performance against Kentucky. Great performance. And they should have won this. They've been ranked if they won this game. They'd have been ranked. And that would have been really impressive for Beamer. But instead, almost. It just doesn't quite count in football. It's not horseshoes, right? I mean, so close. Almost had it. They should have won. I mean, I can't say like actively, but I was hoping they'd win, right? I was rooting for them. I was rooting for Beamer, but man.
Do you think that they would have won if Lenore Sellers didn't get hurt?
Probably. Probably.
Like, Ashford's just not an SEC level quarterback, man.
No. Well, I mean, he's been bouncing around. I mean, he's been all over the place. Hasn't he been on like 3 different teams?
He's that girl that you know, you're like, maybe, but like, and then
he's like, no, like, I mean, you know, it's just like probably not a complete pass. Like, he gets the job done, I guess. That's why he's in the SEC, but he's not it, right? He's just, it's just not the one. Not the one you truly want, right? We got GT here. Appreciate you for stopping by. Says that LSU South Carolina game is such a crazy ending. Great game to watch. Yeah, it was. And I know Will would have been very excited if LSU lost. You know, for Brian Kelly, you know, like not a Brian Kelly fan. That'd have been great there for Will, but I don't think LSU's an elite team, though. I don't think they are.
I just wanted Beamer to like not just play it for the field goal, but play it to like get closer to, like get the kicker closer, not just the edge of his range, but like I'll actually get the kicker closer for an easier field goal too. Man, I just felt like South Carolina, they did everything they could to lose the game.
And they did. I mean, that's the thing. When you do everything you possibly can to lose the game, 95% of the time you are going to lose the game. That's just not how it works. You have to play to win, right? You don't play not to lose. When you play not to lose, you will lose. It's just frustrating, man. This was one of the more aggravating games of the week. Great game. And I guess even though I did trash the fact game day went to this one, and I guess it ended up serving its purpose. Yeah. It was a good game. But they should have won. South Carolina should have won. That would have really helped Beamer. Definitely would have helped them out.
Michigan not convincing over Arkansas State.
Michigan, their offense sucks. That's all I can say. Like, at this point, their entire offense is just Mullings. I mean, he can run. He can run. He's a good running back. But he's not Blake Corum, though, to me. I mean, maybe he can get close to that, but he's not Blake Corum. And Donovan Edwards, that guy cannot run, man.
He's the type of guy that you put in to run when the defensive line is tired and you can make the big hole. Because, man, he can burst through that hole. But if there's nothing there, man, he's kind of worse.
Why can he not find holes? I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a running back as talented as he can be not be able to run through a hole? Why is he so bad at it, man? Like Marcus said and others, he has to have a hole this big, like a massive hole for him to go through. Like he cannot go through smaller holes that some running backs can just find ways to get through. I don't get it. He just isn't. He just isn't it, man.
Mm-hmm.
But their offense is not good, and if they can't find a quarterback that can at least threaten the defense, then they're not going to have a great season.
Well, we're going to see how good Alex Orchie plays, man. Is he good enough or is he not good enough?
We'll see. We'll see. He's talented, but he's not a great passer, though. It kind of goes back to that.
I'm happy Notre Dame won, man, but why?
All I can say, Will, is why wasn't this last week?
Why wasn't this last week? I was going to say the same thing.
They could have beat Northern Illinois by 80, man. If you can beat Purdue by 60 or 59, they can beat Northern Illinois by 80. Why? Why did Notre Dame do this? Oh, my gosh. All I know, Will, is I didn't see any of this game, and I saw the score after the game was over. I literally, I didn't even see it. I didn't see the bottom of the screen, none of that junk. I was just like, I wonder what Notre Dame did. We'll see if they won. I was like 66-7. Are you kidding me right now? Like, I picked Notre Dame to win by like 10. Like, I was a little nervous. I'm like, should I go Purdue? I'm glad I didn't go Purdue. But Notre Dame, why? Well, I don't understand how you lose Northern Illinois. I don't care how good Northern Illinois is. I don't care. I do not care. This was impressive, Notre Dame, but you should have done it last week. My goodness.
It's just an effort thing, man. Like
it is.
They were fired up for this game because they're like, yo, we're gonna shut everyone up. But I mean, I'm happy they won, but this team just frustrates me, man. But
I don't understand it. I mean, I agree. Like, yeah, shut everybody up, prove you're a great team, but you did that against A&M. Like, all you have to do against a garbage Northern Illinois might not be garbage, but against a vastly inferior opponent is just win the game, right? Like, just win the freaking game. Like, even if you win by like 10, like Michigan beat Arkansas State, that's not good, but it's like, okay, they won. Move on to next week. That's all Notre Dame had to do. It wouldn't have mattered. Even if they just beat Northern Illinois by like 10 or 13 points, it wouldn't have mattered. I just don't get it because I really do believe, I do believe that your team is good this year. I do. I actually think they're good. But that is garbage. That is such a garbage thing to do, what they did last week against Northern Illinois. I mean, that's just wrong. I mean, that is just wrong on so many levels. I feel bad for every Notre Dame fan, and I feel bad for college football bettors. I just feel bad for everybody because that's just a knee-jerk reaction to go from winning at A&M, losing to Northern Illinois, to this complete annihilation against a okay at best team. So I don't get it. If Notre Dame plays like this every single game of the rest of their schedule, they'll win them all, probably even USC. But I don't trust Notre Dame to do that. I don't, because until they do it, they could have another Northern Illinois performance in a heartbeat, and you never know. And that's the problem, because like you said, it's effort, and they need to be consistent. That's what I said after that A&M game. I said to you, Will, I literally said my words. I'm like, if Notre Dame's consistent all season long, they're going to probably go undefeated or just at least only lose one game. I wasn't expecting that one game to be Northern Illinois, but they just have to be consistent.
I'll say this. Jeremiah Love might be the best Notre Dame running back I've seen. Like, this guy is – I mean, all the Irish fans were comparing him to Reggie Bush. I'm not going to go there yet, man. But, I mean, that touchdown run he had against Northern Illinois was just amazing. And then he had also other – I mean, there were easier runs because the holes were, like, gaping big. But he's a special player. But Purdue, they were picked to finish last in the Big Ten. I think they're going to finish last in the Big Ten. Man, this Purdue team's not good.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and I called it in the preseason, and I had some Purdue fans getting a little upset at me. They were like, oh, Jeffrey, we're going to be good. No, Purdue's not good. Purdue's not good. They might be – I mean, it could be between them and UCLA for worst team in the Big Ten. They're bad. Still shouldn't have lost to Notre Dame by 59, but – they're not a good team. But yeah, I do agree with you. Love's a good back. He's good. He's talented. Absolutely. I agree. Not definitely too early to say, Reggie Bush. I mean, that's I love how people just like overreact to stuff. It's funny. Like, he's good. Well, we need more time for that, but he is very talented. I mean, only 10 carries, 109 yards.
Well, it's because he didn't need to run the ball because they could put in the backups.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, he, has a lot of yards per carry is what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't have to have a ton of carries to get a ton of yards. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't have 28 carries, 100 yards. No, 10 carries, 109. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. We have Buckeye Mike here. What's up, Buckeye Mike?
Appreciate you for stopping by, Buckeye Mike. Jackson saying produce pitiful.
They
Absolutely not good. Hopefully Indiana can take back the bucket, right? Just take the bucket back. That's a long time from now. But, like, Indiana, even when Purdue's bad, Indiana still finds ways to lose that game. Just win the bucket. Get the bucket, man. Mm-hmm. Put another chain, an I chain on there. There's too many P's, man.
I mean, we got to see all 4 Notre Dame quarterbacks, which was fun.
A game is going great when you get to see everybody, right?
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, C.J. Carr didn't get to throw. I wanted to see C.J. Carr throw, but
yeah, they just ran the ball the whole time.
Yeah, Kenny had 1 throw, but he actually scored on the drive. He ran it in, which was good.
That's
on
cool.
His drive. Yeah.
I love how the leading receiver was a guy for Purdue at 1 reception for 50.
We gotta freaking throw the ball, man. At some point. Again.
Yeah, Notre Dame has to do a better job of being able to pass if they're going to be a college football playoff team, if they can win all these other games. Because that's the thing, like, it just seems like they just ran all over Purdue. Like, Purdue couldn't stop the run. But see, Notre Dame against better opponents has to be able to pass. Has to be able to pass. Same thing I'm saying with K-State and Michigan. Got to be able to throw. You can't just win all your games by running the ball every play. It doesn't work that way.
Nebraska 3-0. Good job, Nebraska.
See, it's the same thing. Like with Nebraska, they've been bad for so long. It's just win games, right? Like, it doesn't matter who they're playing. I mean, if this was Scott Frost, this game might have been up for grabs, right? I mean, you remember the Georgia Southern game? I mean, they had some pitiful games. Like, this was the most impressive win ever? No. But they won, and they won convincingly. That's all you can ask for at this point from Nebraska. Just back up a relatively good win against Colorado with another solid win. Just keep stacking wins. Get a 7 or 8 win season. Make a bowl game. Win a bowl game. Just get the Nebraska faithful like, hey, we're back to not being garbage for once. That's all that Matt Rule's got to do, and they seem to be on the right track.
Illinois. Luke Altmaier still looking good for now.
Yeah, the key for Illinois is with Luke Altmaier. Just don't turn it over. Like, just keep the ball at arm's way. If you do that, I mean, Illinois is going to make a bowl game. Brett Bielema's job's safe. I mean, they're not bad. They're not a bad team. They still should have lost to Kansas, though. Kansas choked against Illinois, and they choked against UNLV, both those games. But Illinois is better this year. Buckeye Mike asking, are they legit? I mean,
we'll see. They're playing these 2 teams are playing each other this week. We'll see.
I think they're better than last year. I don't know if they're legit, and when I mean legit, like 9-3, 8-4. I don't know if they're that good, but they're definitely better this year. We also have GT saying getting an elite QB is exactly what Nebraska needed. Absolutely. They've had some really bad players. Like Adrian Martinez was the polarizing one. He had talent, but he fumbled a lot. But also that offensive line that year, that center just kept chucking the ball over his head, man. Like, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, they never really had a good quarterback since Adrian's older brother, Taylor. He was really the last good one. But I think Dylan Raiola is at least going to be as good as Taylor.
Yeah, he's been doing good so far. Definitely still young, growing pains, but he's a lot better than what they've had.
Florida State.
Florida State is trash. They are trash. We both picked Memphis, right?
Yes.
Thank the Lord. Thank you. I'm so glad. Like, Florida State, you are the epitome of garbage, just like Florida. Florida and Florida State, the 2 Florida schools. It's so ironic that when Florida and Florida State now are both horrible, Miami shooting up, right? Miami's just shooting through the roof. I mean, you got to admit, man, no one expected this. They're bad. Florida State is really bad. And do you still believe that it's all DJU? Like, do you like,
No,
or do you it's the whole team? I think it's
it's
the
the
whole
whole
team.
team.
Because some people are saying it's just DJU still, and I'm like, no, I don't. He's not great, but he won games at Oregon State last year. He can win games, but he needs a team around him. He can't elevate a bad team. See, this is what I'm saying. Mike's saying DJ's the main reason. That's what a lot of people are saying. I don't even think he's the main reason.
I don't think anyone. I think there's a complete lack of effort from so many players. I'm not going to say everyone on Florida State, but the effort's just not there. Like, these guys got their money, and it's like they're
not earning it. They're not earning it at all.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, great win for Memphis. They got their revenge on Mike Norvell, so happy for Memphis. And Seth Hennigan's, I mean, he wasn't perfect, but 272 is definitely good enough to be Florida State.
Yeah, especially right now. I mean, yeah, Mike's saying the whole team's blame being the starting QB, so he takes the most blame. The team is just bad all around. The thing is that if DJU was on Florida State last year with the team that they had, the effort that was displayed,
they would have won 11-1.
Undefeated? No, but they would have probably gone 10-2, 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have been really good. DJU is not a quarterback that can really elevate a team, like I said before. He just is good enough with a good team that he can win.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's like the Brock Purdy of college football.
Hey, there you go. Like, if Brock Purdy was on the Carolina Panthers right now, he'd be doing real bad. I mean, really bad. Mm-hmm. You know, no, Brock Purdy would be history. Like, almost any quarterback of the Panthers at this point. That's a whole other thing. I mean, they're just garbage. Mm-hmm. I have trashed the Panthers so much, I can't even – I don't even know what else to say about how bad they are. Everything's bad except the kicking game. The kicking game's fine. But – yeah, like Scotty B said, appreciate you for stopping by. Sorry, FSU, your season is done. They will lose to Cal next game. Hey, is Cal legit? I'll take a Cal win at this point. I like Florida State. I'm done. I'm just done with FSU, man. I'm done. Until they win a game, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Another close call for NC State, not doing great. I mean,
yeah, NC State. The Tennessee win was impressive, but I think this kind of exposes that NC State's not that good. They struggled against Western Carolina, struggled against Louisiana Tech, got blitzed by Tennessee. I don't think NC State's all that.
In a few weeks, they play Northern Illinois, hoping Northern Illinois can win that game.
Oh, yeah, I try to make Notre Dame look a little better. I don't think anything can make Notre Dame look better from that game, though. I mean, if Notre Dame wins the rest of their games and they're 11-1, great. But that's still a bad loss. Like, I don't know. Yeah. But I guess that would help a little bit. Oh, man.
Cincinnati 2-1. Miami of Ohio 0-2. We can now lose to Miami of Ohio.
I will say that they do not need to get rid of this game. You've heard that, like, they're getting rid of this rivalry or whatever. Dude, you got to keep this, man. I mean, they've played this game more than, like, any game in college football history. You got to keep this.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was competitive.
Mm-hmm. Texas Tech getting off the schneid. They needed that.
Yeah, Texas Tech, their defense is not great, but at least it did better than it did against Abilene Christian, so maybe there's some improvement.
UMass is horrible, man. They're rough.
UMass is bad. UConn is bad. Mm-hmm. You know, there's just some teams that are really bad. I mean, Buffalo, they haven't been anything really since Lance Leopold left for Kansas, but, yeah, I mean – good win for them. Like, UMass is rough. I don't know what else to say.
Coastal barely beat Temple, but they did beat Temple.
Coastal is worse. I admit that. Yeah. Coastal is worse now with no Grayson McCall and Jamie Chadwell, but at least they're still getting W's. Still getting W's. 3-0.
Why did you pick Florida? Why did you pick Florida?
Will, you tried to convince me, man. I apologize. My ignorance on this game. My pick was bad. Florida is bad. Billy Napier is bad. The team is bad. Why did you not go with Lagway? You went with freaking Mertz. He's terrible. The whole team is terrible. A&M. I should have went with A&M. Thank you, Mike. Never pick Florida again. My bad. I thought Tom Petty. Maybe Tom Petty got to me a little bit. I won't back down. I'm like, I believe in Florida. They're gonna get it turned around. No, they're horrible. No Florida. No. Florida will not. Absolutely. If you want to bet money on something, bet money on this. Florida will not make a bowl game. No, they won't. Will they win another game? Maybe not. They're horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I'm gonna be a little tempted to pick Florida next week, and we'll see who. I'll show you who they're playing. But
well, honestly, I can't remember who they're playing. I did a SEC prediction video, and I did their schedule. So, like, I forgot who they play week to week, though. So if it's a really bad team, maybe, but I don't know, man. It has to be a really bad team for me to pick Florida right now.
Well, do you want me to just tell you? Yeah, it's Mississippi State.
Oh my gosh! What? Oh no! Oh, Mississippi State's bad too. Oh my God! That's the dumpster fire game of the week. Oh my goodness! Why do you have to do this to me, Will? Why can't it just be Bama or something? Come on! Like, Bama, get off the bye week and just stop Florida. Come on! Oh my goodness. Why? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have to think, man. I have to think on that one. Oh.
So Connor Wegman, is he? I think he was hurt, right? Or is he actually benched? I think he was hurt.
Yeah, I can't remember. I didn't watch a second of this game, to be honest. So Connor Wegman, I'm not sure. Injury update. I think he's kind of like week to week, I guess. Yeah, he's day to day. So
Marcel Reed looks pretty good though, but it was against Florida, so we're taking it with a grain of salt.
So do you think that, I mean, he's in trouble of losing his starting job? I don't think so.
I mean, he played well, Marcel Reed. He played well against Florida, but I mean, he was better than Mertz.
Yeah. Well, insane. I mean, the thing is that Graham Mertz, I mean, he's been a disappointment. I completely admit that because
it's not all his fault.
He was like he was a 4-star QB when he got recruited by Wisconsin. A lot of people thought he was going to be good at Wisconsin. He was not that good at Wisconsin. He goes to Florida, which I was completely blown away. I remember when I did the interview with Locked On Gators last year, Brandon Olson. I was like, why did Florida get Graham Mertz? I was shocked at this edition. I didn't think they would get him. I didn't think he was going to sniff, a quality program. But I agree, though. I don't think Mertz is like the main problem here. I don't think it's all his fault like with DJU. The team just sucks. That's the problem. They just are horrible. Because the thing is that you talk about the fact that Florida's got a great home environment. You talk about the fact, like, the support. They got a lot of money. There are a program that has had a lot of success in the past, even though hasn't been their whole history. But they're garbage right now. They are absolutely garbage. And you're trying to tell me, oh, we're going to fire Billy Napier and we're going to hire the one. Who in the world can fix this? Who? This is awful. Florida is awful. It's going to take a heck of a coach with I don't know what you want to say. Perfect mindset, the ability to turn around a dumpster fire at this point, because that's what they are. They're bad. I wouldn't go there. I don't care how much money they throw at you. I wouldn't go there if I have a good job already. I mean, obviously, if it was me, like, they're going to ask me to take the Florida job, I'd take the Florida job. If they fire me, then give me $25 million. But, I mean, why would a coach like Lane Kiffin go there when he's already making a ton of money and he's got a good reputation? Again, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. That's a good question. Who's been more disappointing, DJU or Mertz? I probably would say DJU's been more disappointing because he had bigger hype.
I agree.
DJU's been better in college than Graham Mertz statistically, and he's actually won more. But DJU's been more disappointing because he was supposed to be even better than Mertz was.
I feel like Mertz's lows were worse than DJU's lows, though.
Yes. I mean, Graham Mertz, I mean, he threw more picks than touchdowns in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
He was awful, man. The one game, London against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, that Notre Dame game, dude! I was like, "What in the world?" Like he had like 4 picks in a quarter or something. It was abysmal. I was like, "What?" Yeah, I don't know, man. Mertz is worse. He's worse.
Mm-hmm.
We got Dave Valensky stopping by. Appreciate it. He says Miami's going to own the state of Florida.
I'm going to say something about Miami. They could just be a Florida State for the like. They could be Florida State of last year and be bad next year. Like I wouldn't be.
That would not surprise
Miami.
Me. Does Cam Ward is this his last season of eligibility?
Cam Ward and Damian Martinez last year.
See, there you go, man. 1-year rentals. That they could be bad next year again. I agree. That's the problem with the portal. When you're not like Bama or Georgia, where you just consistently recruit and you bring in
Miami is trying to recruit better. I'll give them that, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just tough to be able to sustain because Florida State is just so much worse this year. Could happen to Miami. Appreciate you, Todd, for stopping by, but yeah, I don't know. You could be right. I will give you that. Miami is recruiting well, but I still don't trust Mario. I don't.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even if your coaching is not great,
they should win the ACC by default.
Yeah. Sometimes, even when your coaching's not all that great, you still can win if you got a lot of talent. And it seems like Miami's just talent discrepancy versus the rest of the league versus how the rest of the league's playing. Yeah. It's not going to really matter how poor Mario Cristobal does coaching. It doesn't seem like.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Dave. Them moving from the Orange Bowl was one of the dumbest decisions in the history of college football. It's terrible. That's why their fan support is garbage. And we got Buckeye Mike kidding around with DJ going to Miami. Yeah. Well, he'd be a backup.
He might have one more year, DJ. I don't know. He might have one more.
I can't say because I know he's been in college football a while, but I know you had the pandemic year. And
he took a redshirt year and then a fifth.
So he could.
But Washington State getting their revenge on Washington and winning the Apple Cup, the feel-good story of the last week, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, big win for Jake
Dicker. It was at the Seahawks Stadium, which was kind of weird, but
yeah, Will Rogers, I mean, he put up a lot of yards, but only 1 touchdown.
Did you watch it? Well, I guess it was on Peacock.
I didn't see it. No, not because it was on Peacock. I wanted to tune into this one, but darn NBC with their little Peacock making people get an extra streaming service, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, Washington State, they definitely needed a win like this, to boost their morale, boost their profile. Maybe, can somehow get them into a conference. I don't know if it's possible. We'll see. But yeah.
Well, did you see what's happening?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I thought there was a shot. For them to go to the ACC or the Big 12, but now that it looks like they're doing the dumbest thing in the world of adding Boise and all that and San Diego State or whatever to the Pac. Pac-2. I don't agree with it. I just think it's dumb. Like you're making it where you'll never be a part of anything anymore. You're just going to be you're not a power conference. They're saying that they're going to still be a power conference. They're not going to be a power conference. There's nothing power about it. They're just a glorified group of 5 or whatever, group of 6, I guess. I don't know what you want to say. I don't like the move. I think it's dumb. I think it's desperation to save a brand that doesn't really exist anymore. I think it's stupid. My opinion.
But they kind of have their own Avery Johnson and John Mateer that led them to victory. Will Rogers still played well, though. It was kind of a strange game.
I feel bad for Will Rogers because he was so good at Mississippi State with Mike Leach, and it just feels like, he's never going to be able to reach the highs he was at before because he was really good. I mean, he's still good, but it just kind of sucks he's in the predicament that he's in with, being at Washington. It looks like they're just going to kind of be average this year. Mike saying, is Indiana legit? Yeah, we'll definitely talk about Indiana. I think they're much better this year. Jim's saying they're going bowling. Mike saying, you know who IU's OC is, right? Yeah, it's Mike Shanahan, but it's not the same Mike Shanahan as the other Mike Shanahan. They're two different Mike Shanahans. And we also got Hummus Hero saying, hey, Jeffrey, appreciate you stopping by, Hummus. Saying hi to both of us. But, yeah, this was a solid game that Washington State needed to win. I'm hoping that, even if that's the route they're going, with the Pac-12 and all that, I hope it works out for them. But I would have rather them join the ACC or Big 12.
Georgia Tech bouncing back.
Yeah, I think VMI is bad. The Virginia Military Institute. They're not good, but still a great win. Bounce back for them.
Pitt winning the backyard brawl, man. Garrett Green I'm disappointed in Garrett Green for the Mountaineers, man.
West Virginia is like Kansas, where neither of these two teams should be 1 and 2 right now. Especially, Kansas definitely should be 1 and 2. But, I mean, West Virginia, I expect them to lose to Penn State, but they should be 2 and 1 right now. Pitt's good. Compared to last year, they're not good, but they're good compared to last year. But West Virginia should have won this game.
Yeah, I mean, Eli Holstein does definitely look better than Phil Dracovic did for Pitt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Phil Dracovic just fell apart after all those injuries at BC. He wasn't the same. But, like I said, Pitt's a better team this year. I mean, Pat Narduzzi, I'll give him credit. They're better this year, but they still should not have won this game. And absolutely, Amos Hero, you knew this was going to happen. Everybody's like, Neil Brown, he's actually a good coach. No, he's not a great coach. He's okay. I've been saying it for years. Neil Brown is okay. He's not garbage and he's not great. He's okay. He's fine. But he's not good enough for what West Virginia fans want. They had one good year and they beat North Carolina in the bowl game. It didn't matter. North Carolina didn't even have any of their players. So, I mean, again, this is West Virginia right here. Neil Brown is not a great coach. Absolutely not a great coach. And for the fact that after one decent season that people are like, oh, he's fantastic. I mean, they went from hating him, wanting his head, to that fact that, oh, now he's a great coach. I literally will swear on my life, there was a tweet that someone did. Who's a better coach, Josh Heupel or Neil Brown? And West Virginia fans rated the poll on Twitter and voted Neil Brown, and he won the poll. Neil Brown is not a better coach than Josh Heupel. The end of story. Absolutely not. He is not better. And I know that West Virginia doesn't have as much talent as Tennessee does, all that, but I don't think Neil Brown will be doing as good at Tennessee either. I just don't. I think Neil Brown is okay. He's just okay. This is what you're going to get.
They're probably firing Neil Brown.
Oh, he'll get fired eventually, but I just think it's dumb, in my opinion, that so many of the West Virginia faithful just back the guy after one season. I mean, they went from he's crap to now he's elite to now he sucks again. How do you do that? He's the same guy. He hasn't gotten any better, any worse over a year and a half. He's the same guy. He's always been okay. He's always been okay. I mean, to me, that Houston game last year proves it. Remember that Houston game? West Virginia, Houston. They lost to Houston. Houston was terrible. So it was a good addition to the backyard brawl, but West Virginia should have won.
Iowa giving up points again.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Iowa scored 38, but they gave up 21 to a winless football team. I think that Iowa is not an elite defensive team anymore. Isn't it funny, Will? This is what cracks me up so much. It's almost like because Iowa's offense was so garbage for so long, the defense had to be elite for them to win anything. Now that their offense is better slightly, their defense isn't as good anymore. Isn't that funny to me? Isn't that funny? Yeah. I think it's hilarious. I don't know why. Like, why you finally get a slightly better offense, Iowa, and now your defense isn't even trustworthy anymore. Why? Why can't you have good defense and good offense at the same time, Iowa? Were you literally going to do this like 2 years from now? Iowa's going to be a top 15 offensive team, and then their defense is going to be like USC a couple years ago or LSU. Why? I don't get it. 21 Detroit, very disappointing, Hawkeyes. I'm very disappointed.
Do you think Iowa might not even make a bowl game?
I think they'll make a bowl game.
You think?
I think. But it's a far cry from Iowa fans saying they were going 11-1.
Oh, man.
This is funny,
App State beating ECU.
ECU, man. They blew it. Why, man? They had this game. I was like, I can't believe ECU in a game with App State. So I was shocked. I mean, I do think App State's worse this year, though. They're not as good. But I thought that, App State would win by more than this. So I was impressed with East Carolina, but they blew this game. They had a couple chances to win and just couldn't get it done. I mean, look what they did. ECU scored all their points in the first quarter, man. They were winning 16-0 and then did nothing the rest of the game until the fourth, kicked a field goal. But it's like, ugh. Mike saying happy App State when I was going for East Carolina, man. Come on. Like I don't like App State fine, but I wanted ECU to win. They blew it. We also got Traveling Fools here. Appreciate you talking about Traveling Fools, but this was an underratedly frustrating game. Good game though.
Good game. Arkansas again, a little. I don't think they're going to be that good if they're keeping UAB in the game like that.
Man, UAB putting up 27, dude. Like that, this needed to be like 45-10, not 37-27. Like UAB had a shot in this game. Arkansas ended up pulling it out, but yeah, I don't think they're that good. They're gonna have another rough season. I know they hung with Oklahoma State, but that's why I'm saying I don't trust Oklahoma State. That's why I don't trust the Cowboys. Arkansas still isn't it.
In a fun basketball game, Duke beat UConn 26-20.
Duke's not good, man. Northwestern's bad. Northwestern's bad. Are you serious right now? The fact that Duke beats Northwestern and then does this against UConn? No. Northwestern's rough. They're not good. I could not believe this. I think, did we pick this game?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did, but I did not. I don't think I made an official pick, but I probably would have picked Duke by like 20 at least. Yeah, not impressive at all. But a win's a win, I guess. But this is not, like Mike said. But at some points, a win's not a win. I mean, that's pathetic.
Carolina.
See, this is a win. This is a win right here. Carolina, I still don't trust them. I still don't think they're all that great, but they did their job. They won convincingly.
Virginia Tech got rid of their demons and actually be ultimating in Norfolk. So good job, Virginia
Tech. Such a
Tech.
weird score with Virginia Tech having 37. Yeah, good win for them. I don't think Old Dominion's good this year, though. I mean, didn't they make a bowl game last year? Yeah, I mean, they're 0-3. I don't know who they play in the Sun Belt. But, yeah, I don't think they're that good, though. But Virginia Tech, Drones, he needs to be better if they're going to have a decent season. Still, they're up and down, but good enough win, I guess.
Liberty beat UTEP. Man, if Liberty makes the playoff.
Oh, my God. If Liberty makes the playoff, they're getting blitzed. They're getting blitzed. I think they're worse this year than last year.
Georgia Southern, we have on South Carolina State.
Clay Helton. Packard beating Toothpaste.
Charlotte beating Gardner Webb.
Gosh, Charlotte's bad. Oh, my goodness. Ooh.
Well, Western over Cookman.
North Carolina. Max Johnson's out for the season, Dave. Max Johnson's out for the season, unfortunately.
Vandy.
This makes Virginia Tech look worse.
Yeah.
Dude. This makes Virginia Tech look worse. I was like, man, Vandy, they might be good again. This. How? I get road game, right? Or whatever. But I don't know. Stop laughing, Wills is Traveling Fools. Here we go.
I think I'm controlling it. I think I'm controlling it this time, Tia.
I think this was a disappointing performance from Vanderbilt. They needed to win this game. They started out 2-0. They needed to win this one to maybe have a shot, and I mean a shot at bowl eligibility. Now they don't have a shot to Scotty B. I agree. Schedule's too tough. They needed this one. I still think Diego Pavi is good, though. I do, but that was disappointing.
Rich Rod, rough start.
Oh, they're rough this year. I mean, Coastal beat them by a lot. And I'm like, yeah, they're not that good because Coastal's not as good as they used to be. I'm shocked. After the season they had last year, I guess they lost some pieces, I guess.
Yeah. San Jose State.
Yeah, Dave says Georgia State runs the triple option. Vandy's not smart enough to stop it. Even though they have one of the smartest universities in all of America, they're just not smart enough to stop the option.
Auburn actually won.
Yeah, actually, Auburn did their job for once, and they struggled in this one for a while. But I still just can't believe Auburn, dude. I'm just like, why are they so inconsistent? They have enough talent to beat up most of their, inferior opponents, but that was just sick last week. But congrats to Auburn this week. Oh, yeah, Scotty, absolutely. Vanderbilt, they definitely use it all in baseball. But it's still insane that they lost the game after beating Virginia Tech, though.
And Toledo destroying Mississippi State.
And now it's giving me a heck of a time trying to predict that game in week 4 between Mississippi State and Florida. We'll get to that. Yeah, Toledo, I know Jason Candle's a good coach, but I don't think anybody expected this. I didn't. I mean, Mississippi State was favored, right? Or was Toledo favored? I think Mississippi State was favored by like a couple. But no one was expecting
Mississippi State by 10.5.
10.5? I thought they were favored by like 3 or 4. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Scotty B, I agree. He's going to be a Power 4 coach soon. I thought he was going to get the Indiana job, truthfully. That was my prediction. I thought he was going to go to Indiana, but Signetti got it. But Candle is good. But this still shouldn't have happened. With beating Mississippi State at Mississippi State. Not at Toledo, at Mississippi State by that much. Mississippi State is garbage. They're bad.
They are bad. And Indiana went into the Rose Bowl and took it to UCLA. I did not think it would be this big of a margin. I did have Indiana winning pretty big, but man.
You had Indiana winning by more than I did, right? Like I said Indiana win by 10. Wow. What a performance from Indiana. I mean, we're talking about number one, the first ever Rose Bowl win for Indiana, which is insane. First ever win. Never won in the Rose Bowl. The only appearance they had was in 68 against USC. Lost to O.J. Simpson. Then Indiana also, it's just their biggest road win in the Big Ten since 2001 when they beat Wisconsin 62-31. So that's history. I mean, Indiana, I don't know what else to say. Do I think they're an elite team like some people are starting to raise the stakes to? No, I don't. They don't have the talent for that. But they're significantly better. They're a significantly better football team than they were last year. They're 3-0. They have Charlotte next week, Maryland, and then Northwestern. There's a shot they go 6-0. There's a shot. And then that game against Nebraska just becomes massive. All I know is if Indiana can somehow win 8 or 9 games this year, Signetti and all the coordinators, give them raises. Keep them on board. Do not let them go. At all costs, do not let them go to Florida. Make Indiana be a football school. Come on, let's make this happen, man. Let's make this happen. Indiana, this proves they can win. It proves they can win, man. They really can. They just cannot lose all these guys. If Signetti, oh my gosh, Will, if they left for Florida, oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't care how much money Florida's throwing. Don't go. Well, all I'm saying is this was impressive. And Hummus Hero saying Indiana's a juggernaut. I mean, we'll see how good they are. They're significantly better, though. Their offense, top 10 nationally right now. I know they haven't really played anybody, but they're efficient. You know, they're not, Indiana hasn't turned the ball over yet. They've been efficient. Their defense looks better. I think Indiana's legitimately a good team this year, a good team. And if they end up winning 7, 8, 9 games, they got to keep Cignetti. They got to keep those coordinators. If they can do that, I think Indiana could be consistently good for years to come. But they have to keep these guys. Like Hummus said, they have good talent, not elite, but they have great coaching. And that can be the special sauce, man. I saw, no lie, Will, 100% honest with this. They said, according to the ESPN FBI predictor, and this is just based off their schedule and what all the other teams that they're playing, so this number is going to change 100 times between now and then. They said right now Indiana has a 24% chance to make the college football playoff, according to the ESPN FBI predictor. So
that means they're going to have to beat Nebraska and Michigan. Do you think they can do that?
You don't think they could do it at 10-2? You don't think they could do it at 10-2?
They have an easy schedule, though.
I know, but if they're convincing in all their other games, and they have a close loss to Nebraska and a close loss to Ohio State, could they get in at 10-2? Because I'm agreeing with you, 11-1 they're in. 10-2 with the schedule, it depends. But I'm just saying they have a shot. I'm not getting that high on Indiana. I would be happy with 7 wins in a bowl victory. Okay, 7-5 bowl victory, I would be blown away at that. But the fact that people are saying they have a quarter of a chance to make the playoff, what is going on here? Keep Cignetti at all costs. That's all I'm saying. Indiana, you got to do it. Make it happen.
Colorado actually beat Colorado State.
Congratulations, Austin. Congratulations. That's all I can say. They did their job. They did their job. They beat Colorado State by more this year than they did last year. But Colorado State might be bad, though, too.
TCU blew it against UCF, man. They blew it.
Yeah, Josh Hoover had a great game. 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. But look at Harvey on the ground. UCF's run game. So they ran over him. Gus Malzahn, I don't know what to make of him, man. I mean, he's just getting the job done at UCF. Enough so where his job's not really getting, like, in jeopardy. You know, he's not, like, on the hot seat or anything. But, yeah, it's interesting. It really is with UCF. I don't think they're a great team or anything at all. But they might be bowl eligible possibly by the end of the season. TCU, they're definitely still nowhere near as good as they were 2 years ago. We got John Marzullo saying, Brawl champions, how about that comeback? Absolutely. Great win for Pitt, John. Appreciate you for stopping by. But West Virginia, man, they blew that game.
Maryland beat Virginia. Big win for Maryland after that embarrassing loss to Michigan State.
Did we both pick Virginia?
I don't remember who I picked.
I think
I picked Virginia, probably.
Yeah, I picked Virginia. I thought at home, I was like, Calandria playing better. Nah, Maryland. I still don't think Maryland's great. I don't. But Maryland definitely showed in this game they're still going to be possibly a bowl-eligible team. Possibly. Should have picked Maryland, I guess. Yeah, Houston beat Food. Good job, Houston. You got it done. BYU beating Wyoming. Wyoming's garbage. They're bad.
Cal staying unbeaten.
Cal's 3-0. Got a big game. Big game coming up this week. You better not be the first team to let that team win, Cal. Keep them winless. Keep Florida State winless. That's all I can say at this point. But, yeah, good win for Cal.
And now we go into week 4.
We got Jason in the chat. Appreciate you for stopping by. But now we're finally getting to the week 4 games. I've changed the banner. Make sure I do that. There we go. Week 4 college football predictions.
And
we only got one Thursday night game.
App State should take care of business against South Alabama without Kane Womack.
Yeah, I agree. Kane Womack being gone, they're significantly worse. App State does look worse this year, but they should win. I agree. I'll go 21-14.
I'll go 24-17.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Stanford and Syracuse and Illinois, Nebraska on Friday.
Not bad. Two solid games here.
I think Syracuse will take care of the tree. I'll go 31-17 Cuse.
Yeah, I don't think Stanford's anemic or anything. I don't think that they're awful, but I will say that Syracuse does look significantly better than Stanford. Kyle McCord, still not saying that he is making some Ohio State fans think, he wasn't that bad, but, still ongoing debate there between him and Will Howard. But McCord's done good at Syracuse. They got enough quality players. And, Fran Brown, I think, got them hyped. As long as they can keep that energy, I think they can defend the Dome. I'll go with Syracuse to win 31-24. Now we got the Fox game on Friday night. Another ranked matchup. They just squeaked Illinois in there, right, to get ranked for this one.
I'm thinking this is another big Dylan Raiola game, man. I think Illinois will hang in there, and I think it'll be maybe a bit more of a shootout than the total says. I'll go 31-27 Huskers with another nice game from Raiola.
Yeah, I think that this game is going to be highly contested. Should be close. Illinois, their defense is not bad. It's better this year, but still don't think it's possibly at where it needs to be to get a big road win like this. If it was at Illinois, it'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. But it kind of feels like Arizona, Kansas State. This game's in the wrong place to make it more interesting. Nebraska, they're the better team. They're on their own field. Matt Rule finally seems to be getting the Scott Frost way out of them. I think Nebraska beats Illinois. I like you. Higher scoring. I'll go 28-21.
And we have San Jose State and Washington State on the CW.
Washington State, I know that CW cursed, but they looked good last week. I'll go with the Cougars to beat the Spartans. 31-20.
Yeah, I'll go 28-24 Washington State. And then we have Marshall and Ohio State, man.
This big new kickoff is a joke. Absolutely a joke.
But Buckeye Mike, will he be rooting for Marshall or will he be rooting for Ohio State?
Will he be rooting for Marshall? You know who he's rooting for, Will. Hey, he's not going to root for the team that's going to lose by 40. Come on. Like, what? Like, Ohio State big on Big Noon Kickoff. I ain't even going to be close.
Is it the Big Noon Kickoff game? Really?
Yes,
Are you sure it's not? Are you sure it's not USC Michigan?
It says Fox 12.
I know it's not always the noon game. It's not always the noon game though for Fox. But I'll look it up.
I thought the Big Noon Kickoff had to be at noon.
No. It might be. Oh no, that's a CBS game. It might be the Big Noon Kickoff game.
I think it is. It's the Big Noon Kickoff game, and which is
it's
insane.
Not always the game at noon though.
Well, I'm looking down the schedule, and I don't even think Fox. Well, Utah, Oklahoma State's at 4. Okay, on Fox, and they're an 8. Baylor, Colorado. Okay, I didn't even see another Fox game for a minute, but yeah, it's those two.
Yeah, it is the Big Noon. It is the Big Noon Kickoff. Ohio State Marshall. It is.
See,
that's pathetic.
I remember seeing an ad for it. I saw an ad.
Because they had the Notre Dame USC game last year, but it was Big Noon Kickoff.
I don't get it, man. I don't get that. Like, Utah, Oklahoma State is a better game, but it's because of the fact that it's Ohio State.
Yeah.
Right. That's all it is. That's dumb. Like I said, Ohio State big on Big Noon Kickoff.
NC State and Clemson, the Textile Bowl.
Yeah, most people probably don't even know that it's the Textile Bowl. I mean, it's college football
20 points.
But not like casuals. They're not going to know that. Clemson favored by 20. That's hefty, man. That's
That
really
is
hefty.
big. That is big.
They did look good against App State, though.
They
Clemson did
did.
look good against App State, and NC State has kind of been garbage this year so far. I mean, they're not awful, but they're not great. It is at Clemson. I'll go Clemson to win 34-17. I think NC State will barely cover.
The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking Clemson to cover. I'll go 38-10 Clemson, man. NC State really has looked bad. But 20 just seems like a lot. And then we have the game of the week.
Wait, Scotty says NC State won't have Grayson McCall.
Oh,
Okay, I take that back.
sense.
I take that back. 34-7.
Yeah.
Clemson covered. Sorry, I didn't know that. Clemson's covering.
And then we have the game of the week. We have the game of the week, Florida and Mississippi State.
This is the big noon ESPN game, right? Oh my God. Florida favored by 6. Oh no. I'm going to let you go first, man. I honestly just don't know who to pick in this dumpster fire of a game.
Florida showed some semblance of a run game against Miami with Montreal Johnson. I'm going 10-3 Florida. Now, if Florida loses this game, they should tarmac Billy Napier and leave him in Mississippi and make him drive back to Florida.
I'm so mad right now, Will. I'm so frustrated because I said to you after that garbage performance against A&M, I'm done with Florida. But you're forcing my hand here. Mississippi State is trash. Garbage. So what do I do? How do you pick garbage versus garbage?
Yeah.
The thing is, if Lagway plays, I would go Florida. But he's probably going to pick Mertz. Scotty says if Florida loses to Mississippi State, then Billy Napier say goodbye to Florida. He'll be fine. Absolutely. Absolutely. John Marcel says I'd rather watch paint dry. I kind of have to agree. I can't pick Florida when I don't trust Napier.
Now I'm thinking of picking. Now I'm thinking of
Jackson and Scotty B are making me want to swing.
Now
I swear to you, Jackson. I swear to you that if I do pick Mississippi State, Florida will win this game. Despite me, they will win this game. But if I pick Florida to win, they will lose. They will lose. This is. I know it feels like a conspiracy, right? Like what I pick doesn't affect the game. I agree. I'm not crazy. But it just feels like that with this game. If I pick Florida, they will lose. If I don't, they'll win. I don't know, man. Both teams suck so bad. That's the problem. $14-10 Florida.
Oh,
Fine.
Congratulations to Mississippi State for winning your first SEC game of the year.
I swear. Absolutely, I swear, 100%. If Florida loses this game, I am not picking them again this season. I'm done. Absolutely. I don't care who they play. I'm done. I don't care. They're losing every game. Florida, 14-10. You better win, man.
The Hoosiers should beat Charlotte. Maryland should beat Villanova.
Yeah, Indiana.
Here's the game. Here's the game that should be on ESPN.
Oh, yeah, James Madison in North Carolina. Look at that game. That's underrated right there. I will say, though, if Cignetti was still at Madison, that would be crazy of a game. That would be really competitive. James Madison can still put up points, but their offense isn't as good as last year because they did lose Jordan McLeod. They lost a lot of players to Indiana. North Carolina, no Max Johnson. Their offense is kind of struggling to throw the ball, but they can still kind of run the ball. I think Carolina wins 31-24. I think James Madison covers, but I think UNC gets the win.
I haven't watched much of James Madison this year, but this seems like a type of game I would go upset on.
I don't blame you. I'm not confident in North Carolina, but I think they'll stay undefeated. I'll give them a shot.
They only scored. James Madison did not play well against Gardner Webb.
Yeah, they look worse to me this year. If it was Signetti, if Signetti was still at James Madison, I would pick James Madison in a heartbeat.
I have to go I'll go Carolina 20-6.
I think Amari and Hampton just would be too much for James Madison. I think he'll run the ball very well in this game.
Mm-hmm. Houston and Cincinnati. Oof.
Yeah, another rough game. I think Cincinnati's a better team, though. I think they'll win 24-20.
I'll go 27-23, Cincy. Houston's been
Oh,
bad.
my gosh. This game, both teams need this one, man. Kansas and West Virginia. Kansas needs a win. I mean, obviously, Lance Leipold's job's not on the line or anything, but West Virginia, Neil Brown needs this game. I'm not saying he's getting to Billy Napier territory or anything. Nobody's at Billy Napier territory except Billy Napier. But Neil Brown getting in a little bit of trouble. It's at home. Country roads, can they take them home? I don't know. Like you said, Garrett Green's been kind of mid.
Yeah.
He's been mid, but Jalen Daniels has been awful. Does he wake up? I'll go West Virginia 31-24. I think they'll get it done at home. I don't trust Kansas right now. They don't look good.
I don't trust either team. I think the crowd will turn on West Virginia. I'm going to go Jalen Daniels to finally wake up and have a good game. I'm going to go Jayhawks 27-24 in a squeaker.
You could be right. Jalen Daniels is a talented quarterback, but the problem is he hasn't looked that good, and I do think Jeff Grimes is ruining the offense for Kansas, and their offense is bad. So that's why I'm going West Virginia, but it's going to be close. Jim says I don't see Signetti staying long. He'll get offers. That's why I'm saying, man, Indiana, pay him. Please. Pay him. All the money you got. You got it. Because he will get offers. They need to pay Signetti.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we talked about Ohio State, Mike. That they're going to win big.
Virginia and Coastal.
Look at this game. A little sneaky little one here. Well, Virginia disappointed me last week against Maryland. They disappointed me. And now they're going on a road in a tough environment because Coastal is an underrated little environment. Oh, you're good, Mike. No problem. I think Coastal will win, man. I'm going to go Coastal to win 28-24. They're not as good, but Virginia disappointed me last week. Calandry's still a bit turnover prone. I'll go Coastal.
I don't know, man. I'll go, since you picked North Carolina, I'll pick Virginia just for fun. I think Calandry will do enough. I'll go 31-24 Virginia over Coastal. We'll see.
You could be right. You could be right. Yeah. If it was at Virginia, I would go Virginia, but they just did.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Penn State, man. Oh, they're glutton for punishment.
Penn State, big. They'll cover. Here we go. CBS, USC at Michigan. And the last time that we had a really big game in the big house, it did not matter because Texas went and steamrolled them. Now, I don't think USC's Texas, but USC did look good in the LSU win. But LSU kind of has some question marks. We don't know really how good USC is. The problem is, though, USC is an offense. Michigan doesn't. Michigan, outside of Mullings, has no offense. If USC can shut down Mullings, they're going to win the game. Because I don't even think Michigan's defense is as good. right? I don't think that Michigan's defense is as good as it was last year. I think it has some talented players, but it's not a complete defense. So they're not able to stop teams at the rate that they were before. So if their defense was elite, they would have a shot. The problem is their defense isn't elite this year, and their offense has one good player or one productive player. And like I said, if USC, which their run defense looks better, they were actually stopping LSU on the ground some. So if they can shut down Mullings or at least kind of limit him, I don't even think the big house environment's going to matter. I really don't think it's going to matter. And I agree with Scotty. Preseason, I would pick Michigan. But I'm going USC. I'm already picking it. I'm going USC 31-17. I think they win fairly comfortably over Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going 38-10 SC. Michigan's offense is just brutal, man. Like, I just don't think they'll be able to move the ball very much against the Trojans. And
I can't believe they didn't get a transfer QB.
Yeah, they should have. They should have paid for Cam Ward, man. I'm going SC big. I think Miller will pick him apart eventually.
And we got another easy game to pick here. UCLA and LSU. LSU is going to win big. I hope Indiana's win over UCLA will be by a bigger score. I hope so. That'd be cool. But I do think at the end of the day, LSU might even win by more than that. I'll go LSU to win 42-7.
Yeah, I'll go 41-zip LSU.
It's not even going to be close.
And then we have Notre Dame against Miami of Ohio.
I swear, Will, do not do this again. I'm going Notre Dame big. I'll go 42-7, but they need to win like that. Don't do it again.
Mike, of course, picked Miami.
Mike.
Chuck Martin was an offense. Their coach. He's been there a while at Miami of Ohio. He was the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame for when Kelly first got to Notre Dame for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike Denbrock. He was actually the OC before Mike Denbrock was for Kelly. I'll go 38-zip. I think that I'm going to go for a shutout this time. Come on, Irish.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame, as long as they're focused, will win easily. But it's all about their effort.
And then we have Georgia Tech versus the team that Notre Dame is playing next week in Louisville.
This is a good game, actually. Solid. I think it could be interesting. I know Louisville's favored by 10.5, and I know it's at Louisville, but Louisville hasn't had any competition yet. Georgia Tech, they've been tested so far, right? They've had a couple of quality matchups against garbage Florida State and Syracuse. And I will say that Syracuse has looked pretty good. So it wasn't really that bad of a loss for Georgia Tech on the road. So I don't think it means Georgia Tech's a bad team or anything. Haynes King's been solid enough. Hasn't really been, too mistake prone or anything. They can run the ball. The thing with Louisville is if Louisville's defense is solid and plays well and can limit Georgia Tech's offense, they'll win this game. But they have to be good on defense. And their offense, even though they don't have some of their players from last year, it still looked pretty good. I don't know.
I think 10.5 is too much.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with Louisville to win 28-24. I'll go with Austin's bird with teeth. I think Louisville gets the win, but it's going to be close. Georgia Tech's going to cover.
I keep forgetting it's bird with teeth.
Yeah, no, I haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, that Thanksgiving Pete and Jordan Bowman, they said it a lot. The birds with teeth. I was also going to go 28-24. You stole my score.
And look at Scotty V. It's the popular pick.
28-24. I'll go 31-28 Louisville. But I don't know, man. Georgia Tech could pull it off. They could be looking ahead to Notre Dame. They could be looking ahead for sure.
Yeah.
I can't believe that game's going to be on Peacock only, man. Notre Dame, Louisville. That's a bummer. But
yeah, that's dumb. It's one of the worst decisions to have that game on Peacock.
Northern Illinois, keep it up, Northern Illinois. You need you to strengthen Notre Dame's resume. Come on.
They'll win. It'd be funny, though, if they did drop a bad game, man. That would be bad.
That would suck.
They'll win, though.
We have
Arkansas. My God. Arkansas and Auburn. Man, these lower tier SEC games are so bad, man. They're just so bad. Oh boy, Auburn favored by 3, which means nothing. Oh
I'm
boy,
going with the Razorbacks, man.
me
I'm going
too.
with
I'll
the
take
Razor.
Arkansas.
Yeah,
I'll
give
go
me
Arkansas
Arkansas.
31-24.
Yeah, I'll go Arkansas 38-21. I think they'll pull
I don't
away, man.
trust
Auburn's
Auburn in these
offense
mid-tier
stinks.
games, man.
Yeah. And then we have Rutgers, Virginia Tech at Lane Stadium.
Rutgers can run. Can Virginia Tech stop the run?
They couldn't against Vanderbilt.
I'm going Rutgers 31-24, same score as Arkansas Auburn. I think that if Virginia Tech cannot stop the run, then Rutgers is going to win.
I want to pick the Hokies, man. I think Kyron Drones will do enough. I'll go. I don't know. I'll go 24-21. I'm not sure about this game though.
Yeah, I'm not confident picking
Yeah,
Rutgers
yeah.
either, but that's why I asked you, man, because Rutgers has 2 legit running backs. And
Yeah.
if Virginia Tech cannot stop them, then they'll lose. And Virginia
Mhm.
Tech hasn't looked that good. And then Vandy losing. I don't know. It just doesn't look good for Virginia Tech. Rutgers has been solid. I mean, it is their first test, though. I'll go Rutgers. We'll see.
Arizona State, Texas Tech. I'm thinking Sparky on this one, man.
Oh yeah, man. I'm back in Dillingham. I like what they're doing. Texas Tech, they suck on defense. They are horrible. I think Arizona State wins 41-35.
I'll go 31-24. Arizona. No, actually, no, higher than that. I'll go 38-34 Arizona
Oh, I don't
State.
normally pick games this high, but hey, Texas Tech gives up a lot of points, man. It is at home, but Arizona State, I think they'll win. I like what they're doing. I really do.
Navy Memphis is a fun game.
Yeah, it's always tough to stop the option. I think Memphis will get it done, though. They've been playing pretty well. They're confident off that Florida State win. I think they'll get it done 28-17.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll go 24-21. I'll have them cover. Utah and Oklahoma State. Utah's a favorite against Oklahoma State.
This should be the big new kickoff right here.
Yeah.
We got a top 15 matchup between 2 teams that I don't trust right now. Utah I normally would, but no Rising again. And then when you talk about Oklahoma State, you can't trust Oklahoma State because some games they just choke and some games they play horrible in. But they do typically tend to show up in bigger games, though. But they're still not that trustworthy of a team. I mean, Bowman, he's put up a lot of yards. Oklahoma State could score a lot of points. That's the problem, man. I mean, Utah, their offense is not as good, and their defense gave up 21 to Utah State. Scotty B says Utah supposedly will have Rising back. Well, that changes things. See, I thought he was out forever. Is what everybody was basically saying. That's the problem. I mean, if Rising's playing, that shouldn't change my mind. Oh my gosh! See, this is garbage. This is absolutely garbage, man.
It says 50-50.
I'm trying to share screen real quick. Cam Rising. It says that the plan is he's going to be ready this week, and then he's expected to play. See, that doesn't do any good though, because you can say that all day long, and then he might not play. See, I don't trust that, you know. So, let's just say this: if he plays, are you picking Utah?
Yes.
If he doesn't play, you picking Oklahoma State.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. I'm same way. I'm not picking Utah if you don't play, but how are you supposed to pick the game? Because I don't trust that report. That report could absolutely be baloney, you know, and he might not play at all. Because they were kind of flirting with that last year where it's like, oh, well, he play. It looks like he might play. Then he was out for the season. So I don't trust it. I don't. I mean, for the sake of this segment, I mean, if Rising plays, I'm picking Utah.
I'm just going to stick with Utah. I mean, their backup quarterback had at least decent stats. I'll just go with Utah firmly, I guess. Why not?
I'll just
30.
say
I'll go.
Utah 31-27.
I'll go
With Rising.
34-28.
Yeah. I'll just pick the game as if Rising's playing, and if he isn't, like on the ESPN picks thing, I'll pick Oklahoma State. But I'm going Utah if he plays.
TCU SMU. What's this? The battle for the
Iron
flying
Skillet.
Yeah.
On the CW, man. CW getting some decent games.
Yeah.
Oh boy. SMU's been kind of rough. I think TCU's a better offensive team. Hoover's had a great season so far. No mistakes. They really should have won last week, but they blew it. I think TCU wins the Skillet 31-24.
Yeah, I'm going to go TCU as well, man. SMU doesn't have much of a home field advantage.
That's true. That's
So
absolutely true. There'll probably be a lot of TCU fans there.
I'll go 38-24 TCU.
Because TCU's near there, and they're in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're right next to Dallas, so there will be a lot of TCU fans at the game.
Mm-hmm. East Carolina Liberty, that'll be a decent game.
Yeah, I think ECU will keep it interesting since Liberty's worse this year, but I still can't overlook the fact that ECU's quarterback has 8 picks in 3 games. So I think Liberty will win 28-17.
That is brutal.
8 picks in 3 games. Like, how are they 2-1?
That's almost 3 picks a game.
And they almost are 3-0.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I wanted to pick ECU, but I'll pick Liberty to win. 30. I'll go 24-20 Lib.
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern.
Miami and South Florida. Do you think they take care of business in that game? Yeah, they should. They've been playing too well. Cam Moore probably getting the win. First
Big Ten game for Washington against Northwestern. Very purple. Very purple.
Yeah, I like the purple game here. I like that. It's aesthetically pleasing, but Washington at home and Northwestern, man. I mean, that after what Duke did to you against UConn after beating Northwestern, that kind of lowers my opinion of Northwestern. I think Will Rogers he'll play a mistake-free game, and Washington will get the dub 34-17. I think they win fairly easily.
Yeah, I'll go 35-10 Huskies. UConn is favored.
UConn's favored against Tom Herman, man. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going Florida Atlantic. I'm going Florida Atlantic.
Why not? I'll go with UConn. Why not, man? 28-24.
I'm going Florida Atlantic.
6 touchdowns, 1 pick is pretty good.
That's true. But not a lot of yards, though. Only 477 in 3 games.
Here it is. Cal, Florida State.
Yeah, I agree with Jackson 100%. If Cal beats Florida State, we hear more about Florida State being 0-4 than Cal being 4-0. Absolutely. That's because Florida State's a brand, right? Hey, it's like with Florida. It's like with Florida, man. Like I said, I wasn't picking them anymore, and it took a garbage opponent for them to play for me to pick them. I was like, I'm done with Florida. I swear I'm done with Florida after the Mississippi State game if they lose. With Florida State, I'm like, I was done with them after the Boston College performance. I picked Memphis, and Memphis won. So since I picked against Florida State and it went well, I'm doing it again. I'm going to go with Cal to go into Doak Campbell and knock off the Seminoles 28-20. I think Cal gets it done.
You know what? Cal big, 31-14. Cal big.
Oh man, you're more bullish. Wow.
Fernando Mendoza, man.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm. Toledo, Western Kentucky is a fun one.
Yeah, it is. I think Toledo will get the win.
Here it is, college game day. Tennessee.
There it is, man. Tennessee at Oklahoma. And again, like I've been saying all season with Oklahoma, defense, it's not good enough yet. Offense, not great. Tennessee, Mac trucking everybody. Obviously, they haven't played anybody, but, well, NC State, but the more I think of NC State, I don't really think of them as a legit team because that was just garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is it's on the road. If it was at Tennessee, I wouldn't even think twice. But Oklahoma is a tough environment. It's not an easy place to play, but Houston almost beat them there.
Mm-hmm.
Tulane kept it interesting. That's the problem. I love how Mike says Tennessee upset Oklahoma. Tennessee's favored by a touchdown, Mike. What are you talking about? It's more like Oklahoma upsets Tennessee at this point.
So, Josh, there's a little fun little storyline here. Josh Heupel was the quarterback for Oklahoma when they won a national championship in 2000, and he was the offensive coordinator for Bob Stoops before they fired him and replaced him with Lincoln Riley, who eventually became the head coach of Oklahoma. So it's a little fun.
That
little
is an
line.
interesting story right there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Added burn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuel to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nico's playing too well, man. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a tough environment. His first big road game. And he might have a couple mistakes. But I think Tennessee wins this game 38-27. I think they cover. I think Oklahoma just hasn't impressed me enough that I don't think they get it this one. I don't.
The one way I can see Oklahoma winning is that if Jackson Arnold has a good game, and we don't know how good
have a good game.
We don't know how good Tennessee's secondary is yet because no one's really been able to throw deep on them. So we don't really know just how good these guys are yet.
Oklahoma can win, but I just don't see it. I mean, Jackson Arnold has to play
still picking Tennessee to win 49-17.
Hey, you hyping up Oklahoma a little bit just for you to pick
I did a
Tennessee
Lee Corso, man. I did a Lee Corso.
I'm like, what? I'm like, you trying to make it interesting, and it's 49-17. Okay. I had to be closer. I mean, I don't think Oklahoma's it, man. I don't see it.
Yeah.
They're just not that great on either side of the ball. I think Nico will have a couple mistakes, but they're going to win. No, I don't think about much as that, but man, you could be right, Will. Could be a blowout.
Bowling, I think A&M ranked, nice ranked win for Notre Dame. I don't know how you get ranked.
A&M, they like to choke though when they get ranked. But
I think it's different with Mike Elko, man. Mike Elko's doing a good job.
I think it's different with Elko. I think they're gonna win by 17.
Yeah, I think A&M wins. I mean, Lumini, I just don't think Oklahoma's that good, man. I mean, they haven't looked good, but I could be wrong.
I don't see Tennessee beating OU 45-14, and I don't think Bowling Green beats Texas A&M. Okay.
The battle for the pig.
Could be true.
The battle for the pig. Iowa, Minnesota.
I definitely agree with Bowling Green being A&M. I don't see that. But Tennessee beating OU by that much, that could happen. That legit could happen. But I think it'll be closer. But here we go. The Floyd of Rosedale.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Floyd of Rosedale. I love that rivalry game name. It's just random.
A nice over-under of 35.5.
It has a history, though. The Floyd of Rosedale. They named it after a guy. I think he played for Minnesota or something like that or whatever. But it was back in like the 1930s. It has all a history or whatever. I read into it once. But Floyd of Rosedale. This game. The problem is that Iowa beats Minnesota more often than not. You know, just like with Iowa State. Iowa typically finds ways to get it done. But I'm concerned, Will, about the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about the defense. 35.5 might be too low because Iowa's giving up points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, PJ Fleck's boat, dude, it's got a lot of holes, man.
Matt Frostberg's been playing better, though, man. I don't know.
I don't know, man. This is a tough one.
I still have to pick Iowa, man. I'll go 17-14 Iowa.
I think Iowa, and the fact that they normally own Minnesota most years and they're used to beating them and finding ways to beat them, and the fact Minnesota does not look good at all, I think Iowa will win 20-17. I'm going over.
Over.
Going over 20-17. But Minnesota could win because Iowa giving up points. But I think Iowa wins. I'll go with Iowa 20-17.
It's just because the revenge factor of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cooper DeJean call. Michigan State, Boston College.
Michigan State's look good, kind of, but Aiden Childs, man, 4 picks. Outside of him, they've looked okay. The Maryland win was decent. Boston College, good start to the year. Hung with Missouri. We don't know how good Missouri is, but hung with Missouri. It's at home. I think Bill O'Brien's got a fire under him. I think BC bounces back and will win 28-24. I think Michigan State keeps it really close, though. But I think Boston College, Castellano's more experienced than Childs. It'll be a road environment for him. I think BC wins.
I'll go 31-24 BC. I think.
Because you got to remember, too, Michigan State beat Maryland on the road, right? But Maryland don't have any fans.
Maryland doesn't have fans.
BC's going to have people there. So, I think Boston College wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles as well.
Ooh, Baylor, Colorado.
Baylor, Colorado.
Night Fox game. Colorado favored by 1.5.
Who's Finn, right? That's the quarterback for Baylor?
Daquan Finn, yeah. Scotty B says Colorado might be down first string nose tackle. He's questionable. Second string will be out besides Charles Sanders.
I'm going to go with Baylor. Their defense has been stingy. I think they're going to get to Shedeur. I'm going to go with Baylor to pull off the upset. Slight upset. 34-31.
Trust me, I'm not high on Colorado. Never have with Dion, but I'm thinking about it. Shadeur's talented, but it's all about the D. If Baylor can shut him down. Scotty B says Sawyer Robertson started last game, so it wasn't Finn. Yeah, I think Finn had a bad game.
They still beat Air Force 31-3, and I don't think Air Force is a nobody. Oh, maybe they had a tough. They've been tough. I don't know. Air Force hasn't been playing well either. I'll stick with Baylor.
I'll go Baylor 24-21. I feel like if I went Colorado, it would kind of go against everything I've said about the Buffaloes for 2 years. So I'll go Baylor. Not confident on this game, though.
Yeah, I'm not confident either, but, I'll go for Baylor.
These games are the hardest to pick. They really are.
Purdue and Oregon State.
Purdue going to Corvallis. Well, I mean, Oregon State got destroyed against Oregon, but they kept it close for a half, and they did beat San Diego State 21-0. They're at home. Purdue's, man, they just got their butts whooped, dude. Oregon State, 31-20.
34-20? That's a good – I'll go 31-17 Beavs. I think the Beavers will bounce back. Maybe that's too much, but Purdue looks so bad, so I'll stick with it. And then
we got a night game, man. K-State at BYU. Look at that one. I like that game right there.
That's a trap game.
Man, the thing that sucks, though, it's so late. And if it's a good one, I'm going to have to stay up for it. But, man, BYU, not an easy place to play in Provo.
No.
Satake needs wins. He's got him doing well to start the year. Kansas State, though, they got the best player on both teams, though, with Avery Johnson. Kansas State's looked pretty good. The Tulane game, a little shaky, but they got it done. Looked really good last week against Arizona. But, hey, Arizona might not be that good. K-State favored by 6.5.
I do have someone I grew up with and went to elementary, middle, and high school with on BYU, so I'm a little biased. But I just can't quite see them pulling it off. I'll go 28-24 Kansas State.
Well, that's cool there that you know somebody that's on the team.
He's older than me, man. BYU's interesting with their overage players.
He's older than me. That's great.
He's a year older than me, but.
Hey, well, there was one guy on Nebraska that was like 30 a couple years ago. You remember that guy?
Oh yeah, there's someone on Miami that's like 26.
Yeah, that's great. And they were calling Stetson Bennett the mailman. He's like 25. Scotty B says BYU can't run the ball.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Because, I mean, if they can't run the ball and BYU's quarterback, who has a very interesting name, Ratzliff or something like that, if he gets pressured, especially toward the end of the game, and gets sacked a lot, then I think BYU won't have a shot. I think it'll be close because of the crowd and the atmosphere, but I think Kansas State will end up pulling away 30 at the end and win 31-20.
Cameron Rising's 25, by the way.
Yeah, I knew he's older. He's been in college.
Yeah, he's almost 2 years older than me. I'm the same age as DJ. Me and DJ are about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the game.
Yeah, it's not a bad week. There's some good.
Not a bad week. This is also a good week. We're starting to get better and better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then in a couple weeks, there's gonna be a couple weeks there. There's gonna be a lot of great games. And then like week 8, that's loaded. And then like week 8.
I have a wedding this weekend and I have a wedding that weekend too.
2 weddings.
Yes.
I'm assuming not for you. I'm assuming
not for me. I have a big Irish Catholic family, man. So
okay, family. Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I'm like, I don't think it's for Will here. Like.
Yeah. No. I'm talking to someone though, but she's overseas for a year, so we'll see.
That's cool. Absolutely. And it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens though with these games. I think that the few big matchups have the potential to be good, but as always, some of those more underrated games could end up giving us the most fun games to watch this week. Some of those games, like even the backyard brawl last week, some of them are crazy, but there's just great games. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully Notre Dame takes care of business. Hopefully Alabama, learns a lot of stuff on their bye week to get ready for Georgia. And North Carolina and Indiana will take care of business. North Carolina, that's a little shaky of a game there, but just take care of business. But overall, hopefully it's a great week and everybody's teams play well, even though that's not possible. There's always going to be some that play bad. And Florida, do not let me down. Do not. I gave you another chance. I'm going against everything that I said and believe in right now in college football. Don't bet Florida, and I picked them again. I can't believe it. And Florida State, just go 0-4. It doesn't matter at this point. Your season's toast. But it's going to be fun. Appreciate everybody for stopping by tonight. Like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and only talk sports, or at WillND, or also at my Rumble page as well. You can follow me over there. Would really appreciate trying to get to 100 followers on Rumble. But definitely thanks for everybody showing up tonight. And can't wait for the games in college football this week. And definitely next week we'll be back talking all of the college football again for our Week 5 predictions. It's going to be a lot of fun. But thanks for being here, everybody.